Welcome back to Sally's Kitchen. Hopefully my nerves will calm down a little bit. It's a separate video, but the same day as the spaghetti because I also make rolls when I make that. So the ingredients you'll need for your rolls will be flour, yeast, a couple of eggs, salt, Crisco, milk, and water. So I want to talk to you about the yeast. I always get my yeast at Sam's Club. It feels like a brick because number one, I do cook a lot, but two, it freezes well. I put it in the freezer and it keeps it for a long time because this comes in a pack of 2 for like $7 at Sam's Club, and it lasts me most of the year. So that's why I didn't have it ready before we came on, because I wanted you to see it. Now, the recipe is actually a Betty Crocker recipe, but I vamped it for me because I could not get her recipe to work out for me. Betty Crocker is my go-to for everything. You can't fail. If you're just starting out as a cook, get her cookbook because you really can't fail them. But rolls always intimidated me, and I just couldn't make this dinner roll work well. So I've just vamped it up, and I will have that recipe for you later. So we need 3/4 cups of very hot water. So very hot water means you can touch it, but you almost can't. Does that make sense? I'm using a clear bowl. Typically, I like to use this, which I probably will dump it over in it after I show you what I want you to see. Oh, you're going to need sugar too, which, glad I cleaned my cupboards if I have to open them in front of you. You need 1 heaping tablespoon of yeast and a little bit. Okay, and then you need, you can see I use the other side. I love these. I love these things, dual purpose. Yes, I know things, Elisha Yop. They are measuring spoons. And you sprinkle the sugar on top of the yeast, 2 tablespoons. This helps it to activate, and you shouldn't do anything until you see that change. While that's doing that, I can't explain to you what I want to say. I guess it looks like it's fermenting, and it bubbles and stuff. The recipe itself tells you to do this little, put flour in and do this little hole, and it doesn't work for me. The yeast is still grainy, so it doesn't work for me. This works. So while that's doing that, we need 3/4 cups of very warm milk, and I do this in the microwave for about 2 minutes because I do want it very hot because I add my butter and, oh great. Oh well, I dropped an egg. We will get it later. I don't have a cleanup crew with me. He's got the baby in the office. Listen, folks, I'm just doing this to make you happy and to be real. And if God blesses it, great. I do like to cook. I don't like to clean up the mess, but we do it. Okay, what I'm doing now is you're going to need you need 3/4 cup of margarine or butter, whatever your choice is. And I dice it up like this because it will melt faster in the milk that I just put in the microwave. And I'm just killing time until the microwave stops. So, I'll put the milk in the fridge. So I don't know what you can see here. So So maybe I will run the camera over a little bit so you can see what it's doing. Excuse me a minute. I got it hooked up to a battery. Okay, so you see it kind of bubbles up like that, and that's fine to use. When I do my pizza dough, I do the very same thing because it makes a world of difference in how your bread or dough or whatever you're doing comes out. I just love walking in front of everything. Woo! Stop. 2 minutes is too long for the milk. It started to, so do a minute and a half. But that's okay because this will calm it down. So then you're going to put in your butter. I got thinking if Mrs. Hollowell, she was our instructor in high school on cooking. If she watched me cooking, she'd probably fail me, but hey, people like my cooking. Then you need 1/4 cup of sugar. So in here I put the 3/4 cup of margarine. There's 3/4 cup of milk. And 1/4 cup of sugar. I had a brain freeze there for a minute. And then we're gonna put in the 2 eggs. See, that has fermented really, really good. See? I'm very happy with that. There's my eggs. So I'm just gonna drop the eggs right in there. Nothing fancy. Sometimes we make cooking too hard. Just make it your own. I do. So the butter isn't totally melted, but it doesn't matter because you need it. So this is foamy. We're gonna dump this right in it. That has already cooled it right to a like a tepid temperature. Okay, you're just gonna pour that right in there. And honestly, I have got 6 cups of flour measured out here, but sometimes it takes me more, sometimes it takes me less. So we're just going to do it a little at a time and see what happens. Well, definitely we'll go with 2 cups because we know that. So it's better to go with, you know, 2.5 cups to start with and blend it in good. Oh my goodness, I am having a hot flash. I haven't had one of them in a bit. So then it's just kind of soupy looking. You know what? I forgot the salt, but this is okay. They say a tablespoon of salt. No, I don't do that. Maybe half a tablespoon. I'm just not big on salt. So, and it just needs it for a little bit of flavor, and that'll make it good. So just add that in before adding the rest of your flour. So I've already added 2 cups of flour. I know I'm not doing real great at looking, but we have this big table in front of me this week for a big reason, but I seem to keep having to move out. It is what it is. I will be making another video that will be still part of this supper. Our youth pastor requested me to make hot fudge sundae cake, so I will make that later today, and a baby could make that. All right, so you see your dough is starting to form. I need some room to work. Okay, so now it's very important just to go slow with what you're adding because it's gonna, everything I've ever read is like, it needs to be as soft as a baby's butt. Well, you know, that's never happened for me, so. And at camp meeting, Kelly and Crystal, Kelly is my husband's cousin's wife, and Crystal's my daughter. They make the bread at camp meeting, and they do a great job. Okay, so right now what I'm doing is I am kneading. And typically I have a bigger bowl so that I just knead right in the bowl. But this time I can't. So throw some flour on there. Throw the dough on there. And you can watch me do what I don't really know how to do well, but we'll do it. Guess I'll have to wash my floor after this too, between egg and flour. I think I'd be skinny. And you just press it down with your knuckles. And a lot of cooking, like people go, how do you do this? Or this looks hard. I don't know, just taught myself how to cook and just gained confidence over the years. Bread is not one of my confident builders, but Bruce likes it as long as he's smiling, which even if he's miserable, he's smiling, so I've been blessed. Okay, we're kind of looking like a baby bottom here. So, we do not want to add any more flour, so we did not use all 6 cups. So, that's why it's very important to go slow with the flour. Jonathan Garlock, if you're listening to me, there's times you gotta go slow. Giggle, giggle. All right, so, it slaps like a baby's bottom. So now what I'm gonna do is take my spray. I don't use a lot of oil and stuff if I can help it, so I just spray the bowl. Yes, the bowl you worked in, see how messy? It doesn't matter because it's all gonna grab it. And then I spray the, well, I don't have to spray the bottom, okay. Set it in the bowl. And Elisha, really, stop. Then I'm gonna spray that. We're gonna sit it up here on the stove and cover it with a cloth. For about 1 hour. That way it gives it time to raise double. Some recipes will call your bread to raise, to do that twice, to punch it down and let it raise again. This one not. We let it raise till double and then we form rolls, which we will do later. Okay, so just got back from an hour's walk. And as you can see, our dough is ready. And little Munchkin might be walking in front of the camera. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. I've got 2 dishes that I sprayed with, be careful, babe, with spray. The reason for 2 instead of 1 9x13 is I'm going to give some to my mom and Ramona. So, you just roll them. Make sure your hands have a good amount of Crisco on them, and their balls would be like, you don't want them big balls because they're gonna expand. And they're supposed to be like a dinner roll. You just squeeze it through your fingers. I remember watching my mom do that. And Kelly Blakeney at camp, she rolls them on the cupboard, so does Crystal. But this seems to be how it works for me. So that's how I do it. There's nothing much in life that makes my heart happier than my grandkids. Well, my kids too, but my grandkids. Okay, so I got 15 in that dish. I don't even know what my hair looks like. Guess it doesn't matter now, does it? Very windy out. It's beautiful. It's gonna make a baker's dozen. That's right, kind of perfect, right? Okay, so they will rise one more time. Oh, they're rising. And I'll be back after they come out of the oven. Yes. The oven. 375. I typically do 350, but I think it does work better. 375 for 25 minutes, maybe 30, but they need to be lightly browned on the top, and you'll see that when they come out. Okay, so we're back. We're ready to take the rolls out of the oven. You can see them. That's what they should look like. They should raise for 25 or 30 minutes to get a good height on them. And the leftover butter that you had from making them, you just take it and go over the tops of them. One way of knowing they're done is when you go like that, they sound hollow. Not that you can hear the sound from this distance, but they look really good. Okay, so once you get them buttered nicely the way you like them, some of the butter will melt good on it. You need to flip them out. They get too soggy if you leave them in the pans, so you need to take them out of the pans and set them on a towel. Like that. Like that. I want you to see the bottoms too, so the bottoms look pretty good. So, that was our lesson on dinner rolls. Hope you I hope you enjoyed it. Oh my word.